welcome back to Eastwick Cottage Garden. It is the day before Easter, and this is the end of March garden tour. So I'd like to walk you around the garden and show you what has been blooming and what is starting to bud in the last 2 weeks since I did the mid-March garden tour. So I'm going to turn the camera around and take you along with me. So I was waiting for the clouds to kind of roll in. I have a short bit of time before the rains start coming in this afternoon, but I wanted to show you around the garden and see what's occurring. And as usual, we're starting outside the fenced-in garden area. So this is the flower bed that is facing towards the street side of my house, and you can see that the heuchera are starting to put on some quite a bit of growth. This heuchera is called paprika, and I think it's going to look good with the euphorbia ascot rainbow because it has some reddish stems in there as well. So I think that they'll blend in well together. We have some hellebores that are pushing a lot of foliage, and some that are bloomed out, and some are still blooming, which is lovely. Back here we have this is columbine, and I'm excited to see what this does. It didn't bloom last year because I planted it pretty late, but this one is orange and yellow, so I think that it would go well with the heuchera and the ascot rainbow. I think it would make a great combination. So we have this hellebore here that I will get the name for you. This is the first time that it's bloomed. Try to get this without the flag. And it is a double, but next year it'll probably be in finer form for doubling. And here's another bud coming out on that one. We have some hellebores here that haven't bloomed yet. Hopefully they'll bloom in the next year or so. I have here, try to get to it. This is a muscari. It's a pink muscari. I have a few of them around the property and in this bed. So that's blooming out. It's getting ready to start blooming. And this is the Rio Carnival or Carnival Rio hellebore. And you can see some of them have gone to seed, and some of them are, still in fine form here. This hellebore, this is the first year that this one has actually bloomed. This matches the one in the back. This is the Paris in pink, or pink in Paris hellebore. So it's very nice to see that has started blooming. And here's another, the Carnival, Rio Carnival. And so also in this bed, I have some snowdrops, and I'm probably going to fill it in with some other things in the coming season. I need to mark off where the bulbs are. Note to self. So in this area here, this is a corner bed, mostly of ivy. So I'm thinking about putting some kind of statuary in here as an interest of, 12-month interest. But I have my tiger grass that's starting to come up here. And there is a rose. I'm not sure of the actual name, but I know it's a red rose. And I trimmed it back, and it's starting to push new growth here. Also in this area is a dogwood tree, and that should be blooming pretty soon. And it is a pale pink dogwood. So looking forward to that. And around at the base of the dogwood, I have a variety of daffodils that are yet to bloom. So I will be, as my other daffodils are fading out, these are coming in. I also have some weeds that I need to get out. This is along the long border. Here I have a daylily that I mentioned before that's not quite a daylily because the blooms last longer than the day, so I'm not sure what's going on there. It is a peachy color, so it lasts a long time throughout the season, so I'm looking forward to that coming back. And here are a bunch more daffodils that haven't bloomed out yet. And I have my mock orange that is doing well. It put on quite a bit of growth since I scared it within an inch of its life. last year. So looking forward to all the blooms that will have this year, and the hopefully more growth that it will put on. All this growth down here at the bottom is new to this year, so that's exciting to see. A row of 3 of my crepe myrtle, and they are some kind of magenta for crepe myrtle. They have dark foliage, but they do have seeds. So I know there's crepe myrtle named magenta that doesn't seed, but this one does seed, and it's very beautiful later in the summer. So this is the long border as it stands now. This kind of alternates between crepe myrtles and mock oranges and daylilies, and there's some irises in here that are going to be coming up. This is a very red daylily. I divided this from one in the fenced-in garden, and I put it in 3 places here, and it seems to be doing really well. We have some remainders of the giant crocus that I interplanted in the lawn. So they've been a very nice pop of color early in the season. Come to the forsythia that is going to have a definite trimming this year. I was kind of waiting to see how much it would bloom, and it hasn't really put on that many blooms, but as you can see, it really needs to be thinned out in a mighty way. So as I mentioned in previous videos, I'm trying to do a revamp of the front garden area. So this is obviously my driveway, and I mentioned in the previous video, Jeffrey came by to help me do some work in the garden. So he helped me along with the no-till expansion of the garden bed here. So the first layer of compost has gone down, and I'm going to be ordering. I haven't ordered it yet because I didn't want them to deliver it when I wasn't ready for it. So I'm going to order that probably on Monday, so it can be delivered this week, in order to build up the layer to be able to plant in it. And these plants will need to be moved. And some plants in the maple garden bed will be coming over. And I have a rose bush that I ordered that's going to be going in here. I'm going to be ordering some shrubs as well. The wind is picking up a bit, so hopefully I can get this done before it gets too crazy. So here we took some of the edging that was around here to kind of make a make-believe path to get the idea of what I was going for. So I want a path across this part of the front yard that kind of leads to the red maple, which is here, and the beds beyond that. So I'm going to have to move some of these daffodils and snowflakes out of this area after the foliage dies down. I'm going to have to move these out, and then I can add them to, there's a gap here, so I can add them to the gap right here. So in this front flower bed, you can see that the Sunjoy barberry is budding out and leafing out, and it's going to be looking wonderful. And I have down here the candy tuft is starting to bloom out, and the coreopsis is starting to leaf out. My irises are doing their thing, and I'm very happy with the growth that's on this euphorbia. And down here you can see that my this is coral jade sedum is starting to leaf out a lot. This one over here is in more shade, so when I move these to the further out in the new flower bed area, I think they'll do better because they'll get more sun that way. But this is this mum that is going to need to be dug up and divided, so I'm going to try to divide it into 3 pieces if it works, and intersperse that in the flower bed as well. And my dianthus is starting to wake up. This one is putting on a lot of new blooms, and here's another sedum that I'm going to be moving, with one over here as well. Here's another candy tuft and the euphorbia, the barberry. And this, I don't know if you noticed in the last flower tour, was very tiny. This is a tiger lily that is going for it, and here's another daffodil. So the tiger lily and the daffodil will stay. The shorter plants will come out eventually, and I'll be planting some like mid-size shrubs in here to fill in the space. This euphorbia will get to be about 8 feet tall eventually, so that'll kind of be the centerpiece of the garden bed. I'm really happy about this show of daffodils. I tried to do it randomly. I mixed all the bulbs together and tried to get it to be random, but it's not looking super random. But they're just absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And they smell amazing. So every time you walk by here, you get a really, look at that, like a light scent of sweetness going by. And these are just the Luca gems, the snowflakes. Very beautiful. So I'm very happy that I put this in, because you can see it from the street when you're driving by. It's just very nice and cheery. So moving over to under the red maple, I have a swoop of heuchera. So they alternate between Delta Dawn, this is Delta Dawn, and more of the paprika. So they just kind of swoop around here in the front, and they go very well with the red maple leaves. It's a very nice combination. On the back side is another swoop of mix of daffodils in the process of blooming. This is my red maple border that has ground covering of vinca that is flushing out quite nicely. There's a mix of hellebores in here and geum that are starting to come to life. And oh my goodness, these muscari or grape hyacinths are looking beautiful. And my peonies are starting to break dormancy. I have 3 different ones in here. I can't remember which one is which, where I planted which one is which, so I did mark them with peony, and I'll fill in the name when I could get to see the blooms come out. And here is a sedum. It is back and black sedum, so this should look very nice in this area. This is an Arctic fire dogwood, so I'm debating on moving this one and the one that's further down the bed, because the one at the end of the bed absolutely died, and moving it into the front flower bed area where I think it could get some more sunlight. Here we have a phlox. This is a white phlox that blooms early in the spring, and it is pushing out its bloom spikes and doing very well. So it pretty much alternates this all through the bed. There are also some cone flowers in here that will be coming up later in the season. And I want to, here's one right here that you can see that is breaking dormancy right there, one of the cone flowers. But these are also tiger lilies that were part of my grandmother's tiger lily collection. She had this whole bed full of vinca when she lived here, and there were some tiger lilies interspersed as well. I'm going to take some of these tiger lilies and plant them further down in this flower bed, and also move some to the front flower bed expansion. Still working on the edging here, so I will fill you in on an update of that when we figure out what we're actually doing with it. So I know I talked about it before, but we're still in the midst of figuring out how we want it to work. So once we figure that out, I will keep you posted. So there's another geum here. It's totally tangerine, so it's got an orangey color. So the bed starts out kind of blue and white, and then we'll pick up some shades of orange and yellow as the season goes on. Coming through where I call the alleyway, I planted on the sides of the concrete, I planted some daffodils that are starting to wake up. So I think that they will, there's also, these are leucogem, I believe, as well. This will be a nice little fun pop of color guiding you through to the backyard. It's starting to spritz, so I'm going to try to hurry this up along. Okay, so this is my orchard bed, which is one of the new flower beds that I did last year. Along the back wall, I have sky pencil holly to kind of create some kind of privacy, and interspersed with that, I have red twig dogwood. This is doing really well. Let's see, it is starting to bud out. These are doing well. The ones in the front, not so much, but these are doing really, really well. And I also have a kind of a long drift of the muscari. So my vision is to kind of create like a river of blue throughout this. So right now we have a river of blue with the muscari, and then it'll pick up with some salvia and some veronica and agapanthus later in the season. So I know you guys heard me talk about whether or not I was going to keep the Artemisia wormwood, and they seem to be coming out, and one of you lovely viewers had suggested on how to trim it to keep it in a mounding habit, so I'm going to try that. So it is coming in pretty well, so I'm going to try to keep it mounded up as the season progresses. And here's one of my popcorn roses. I got 4. One is doing amazingly. 3, this one's not doing so bad, but the other 2 at the deck steps area are kind of struggling. So I'm wondering if they're not getting enough sun. I'll see what they do this season to see if I need to move them. And of course, there's always dianthus, because that's my favorite. So there's interspersed with dianthus in here, and this is the Walker's Low catnip that we planted earlier that's doing amazingly well. And you can see that the salvia midnight model is coming up and showing itself, which is very lovely. So this is the popcorn rose that is doing, the drift rose, popcorn is the variety, is doing really, really well. The others are not so much. So we'll see how that goes. But we have several of the yarrow, it's called Coronation Yellow, that are doing amazingly well. It's so lovely to see this color. I can see this whole bed through my office window during the day, and it is very lovely. It makes me very happy. So these are Japanese anemone that I pointed out in a previous video that are showing up and doing their thing. So I'm happy about that. Here's some more of the salvia. And you can see the bed just kind of keeps on going on this way. And this is the last of the Artemisia wormwood. We'll see if this one catches up to the others, or if I need to plant something else in this place. I also have 2 more of the, what is this? The Sunjoy barberry in this bed as well, along with some more of the columbine. And here are the holes that we dug out when we dug out the big blue liriope. So we're going to put the agapanthus in here when it comes. And here is some more of the columbine. This one is doing really, really well. And I trimmed back some of my lavender yesterday. And so I trimmed it back and I put it in a bucket. And I gave some to, there's actually a church next door, so I gave some to the people that were at the church yesterday, and I'm giving some away to friends, and the bucket was in my kitchen, and it was smelling really, really nice. It smelled really nice, so the house was kind of filling with lavender, and I thought, oh, you know what, I'm going to put this in bowls and disperse it around the house. So I did that, and it was about 9 o'clock at night when I was doing this. And then all of a sudden, I got so sleepy I could hardly keep my eyes open. And I'm like, what happened? And I think I just got inundated with the scent of lavender, and it was just lovely and peaceful and made me really sleepy. But that was nice. I had a really good night's sleep. So this is this flower bed, the orchard flower bed, as it stands. This is the pot of strawberries that we just planted up in a previous video. So they're looking good, doing well. I'm going to put some I have some perlite. I'm going to put something on the base here so that the strawberries aren't resting on the dirt and don't get gross. So they'll stay drier that way. And here is the plum tree that is, I'm actually very happy with it, and I'm happy that the weather is warming up. So I think these blossoms will survive. So very happy. And this is the woodland mix that's underneath it. It looks very lovely. Again, I can see all this from my office window. And these are the pots for the blackberry. In case you're new, I'm taking out these blackberries because they're dead, and I'm going to replace them with some fall gold raspberries. Over here is the wild raspberry that we trimmed up and is doing very well, leafing out nicely. So we'll see if we get some raspberries this year. And this is the peach tree, which is doing really well. I'm prepared to protect it with a screen to keep the squirrels off of it. So maybe I can actually get some peaches this year. And then also planted underneath here are lovely daffodils and more of the woodland blend. This is another flower bed that we just planted, and you can see that a squirrel has gotten to it already. Lovely. The rain's picking up a little bit. So in here we have a tea olive that's called Party Lights. Osmanthus called Party Lights. And here are more of the big blue liriope. So I'm hoping that these come in and fill out this area nicely. Here are the remainers of my crepe myrtles. And I have a baby crepe myrtle over here. There's actually 6 of these on the property that I planted, and interspersing this with some more daffodils that are coming, and also with mock orange. And here's another one of the daffodils as well. Just looking sweet and lovely. So this is, for those who are new, the others might know this already, this is actually a goji berry plant. So I'm going to come in here and clean these branches out to try to force it to push out more new growth up at the top, and then trim it up a bit, and actually use it now that I figured out what it is, and it's not a weed. It's actually a fruit tree, and it's appropriately placed in the orchard area. Here's going back towards the woodland garden. I have some more of the woodland blend here. This is another baby crepe myrtle, and the last of the mock orange. And we're just going through. And then in this area is my woodland garden that is surrounded by what I believe are privets. These were my grandparents. They were along the fence line, and they were moved over to along the fence line on the alley side before I finished the chain link fence, and they were moved here to provide some privacy. And then it's really nice that they provide a little woodland area. So in this area, I have some more daffodils interspersed. There are several ferns in here. You see, these 2 are the evergreen ferns. There are several ferns in here. I put some of the woodland blend in here. There's a little ground of ivy. Here. And I have some primrose that was given to me by a friend of my mom's, and they are blooming this time. This little guy, this is the first time, let's see if we can get to it, that this one has bloomed. It's gotten abused a bit, so I had to put a little fence here. It got abused to mark its place. So it's doing very well. There's more of the Paris and pink, or pink and Paris hellebores in here. And my friend Julie gave me some ferns that should be coming up soon. I was excited about that. And this is a heuchera. I think it is called cappuccino. I will check that, but something like that. I think it's called cappuccino. But also back in here, I interspersed some more daffodils. So I should have some daffodil color for quite a while now. You can see this, the winter aconite from the woodland blend, and the blue squill, and it's just really, really lovely. So this is my pride and joy. This is what you see in the intro to my videos. This is my ornamental cherry tree, which is starting to put on some pinkness and blossom out. So hopefully in the next month it'll be in its full show. So I also wanted to show you this. This is the squirrel house that I bought to keep the squirrels out of my shed. They do not seem to be interested in this. However, the shed has been fortified against the squirrels, so I don't know where they're going. But they do have a lovely new house that I bought for them to live in, if they should care to do so. So around here, some more daffodils, and we planted this up in the previous video. This is one of the last loriope that came out of the orchard bed. But these daffodils, they bloomed first, so they're fading a bit. They're still beautiful, and there's a lot of them. And there's some woodland blend underneath the tree here too. So this is very lovely, and they smell amazing. Everything over here smells so good. And this is my nemesis, the bishop's goutweed. It's everywhere. It's a constant battle, and we'll see. We'll see how this goes. Here is one of the wintergreen that we planted. This is one of my hellebores, another hellebore. This one is finished. It was very beautiful. It was a white one, but it's finished now. And this one, this is identical to the other one over there, but it's so pretty, and it's very lovely to see all the blooms still, and there's many buds still on here yet to come. These are more of the tiger lilies, and these are actually a double tiger lily. So the flower, I just noticed that. I lived here 20 some years. I just noticed that these are actually double flowers a couple of years ago, so they're really beautiful. Here are the other two loriope that we pulled out of the orchard bed to make room for the agapanthus. And interspersed in here is more wintergreen. The rain is picking up, so I need to speed this up. Okay, so this is another bed that's outside of the fenced-in garden that is full of, I have a juniper here, and this is hellebore, heuchera. This is a giant whole mound. This whole mound is dianthus that is starting to push its flowers, spikes. It has a lovely pink color and smells amazing. This is my variegated loriope that I trimmed back. There's my biggest mound of candy tuft. This is a thuja pancake, arborvitae. And there's some more, I forgot that I planted these bulbs in here, but these are more crocuses that are just showing up now, which is kind of lovely, kind of sweet. More dianthus, and it just kind of alternates through that way. So I'm going to run in to the fenced-in garden area and show you what we have there. So to greet us in the fenced-in garden is a phenomenal lavender. The other lavenders on the property are also phenomenal lavender. I like this one because it is big. I just trimmed it back, but I can rub my legs on it to kind of keep the mosquitoes from biting me while I come into the garden and work in this area. So in this area, this used to be 400 square feet of a vegetable patch. Got too much for me to handle, so I made it a perennial and shrub bed. We have more of the arborvitae pancake, thuja pancake, and dianthus. In the front here, there are iris in the back here. In the middle here is ice plant. It is the fuchsia ice plant, so it's very beautiful in the summertime, like spring and summer, with its iridescent blooms. We have some scabiosa here. This is phlox. This is a phlox. These are Shasta daisies. Right here is an agastache or agastache, Paquito orange, and one died over here, so I ordered another one for that. So here's some more scabiosa, and here, right here, is Amsonia. Amsonia, blue star. Right here, the greenery that you see right here are black-eyed Susans coming up. There's some more phlox. Back along this one, this trellis is balloon flower that hasn't broken dormancy yet. And these are the red daylilies. I usually start on the other side, but we're doing this side. Let me swing around here a little bit. There's Riley. He's a little upset because he's getting a little wet. So here is my herb patch. This is pretty much the only thing that was original from the vegetable patch. So I have the lavender, there's sage. This is, right here is garlic chives, which are amazing. If you haven't grown garlic chives, you should try it. They're delicious, especially if you dry them. They're delicious. There was tarragon in here, but I'm not sure where that's gone. We'll see if that comes back. I have to probably get tarragon and put it in a pot. Here is oregano, and this is lemon balm. So in the back corner of this, I kind of have the ivy growing in the back as ground cover here. I do trim it back periodically throughout the year so that it doesn't take over everything. I try to stay on top of that. Here is a rose bush that I won in a raffle basket. I trimmed it back. It is flushing out, which is great. It gets crazy. If you see the rose trimming video, you'll see that how big this thing actually can get in a year. I trimmed it pretty hard back this time. It has a single, just 5 little petals. It only blooms in spring, but they smell really, really sweet. They're really lovely. Coming around here, I have 2 knockout roses in this bed, and we trimmed them back in the rose pruning video, and they are flushing out. I need to come in now that they've put on pretty good amount of growth and give them a little fertilization. There's another black-eyed Susan. This is right here is coneflower that is really beautiful. There's black-eyed Susan on this side as well, and this is an Asiatic lily, and I will put the name up on the screen. It's something that it's very unique looking, so I'll put a picture of what it's going to look like. I'm really excited because there were 3 bulbs and they didn't look like they were going to do anything, and one sprouted last year and kind of got stepped on by accident, so I thought, oh, that's the end of that. But all 3 seem to be coming up, and they seem to have spread a bit, which is nice. This is a whipcord arborvitae. I think it's really neat with its leaf structure. We're going to go around here, and then back here is my little lime hydrangea that is putting on growth, so I'm very excited about that. It actually bloomed last year. I didn't expect it to bloom, but it did. So I'm really excited to see how many blooms come this year. This is the other of my knockout roses, and this one gets really, really super big. So my goal this year is to make sure that the back of this stays trimmed so that the walking path, because it's very thorny, so that we can walk back through here along the walking path in the back. This is Kaleidoscopobelia, which I absolutely love. It is very bright. You can see it from far away. And it has grown a whole lot in the past 3 years that I've had it, so it's very lovely. So we potted up this with some more of the violas that were in the pots that broke over the winter, and they are looking really, really lovely. They're flushing out very, very nicely. So on this side of the garden, going around the path, there's some more phlox. I forgot to talk about the penstemon. There's one over here as well. the one over here has had lovely, lovely foliage for the past like 2 years, 3 years. Not a single bloom. I'm hoping this year it actually blooms. It looks different this year than it did last time. It looks more like this one. This one I just planted last year and it actually bloomed. So I think it's shooting up some bloom spikes. So I'd be really happy to see it bloom this year. Here is Coleopsis, which a fall sunflower. There's one on the other side as well. That's coming in. There's another one of the Amsonia blue star over here. More daylily, more Shasta daisies. Another phlox. This one and the one over here is the scabiosa that we got from Gasper. And just coming around to the front of the bed that we've already seen. Just really happy and loving the fact that the bed is coming alive and things are blooming out. It's amazing how barren it looks after everything dies back and gets cut back and trimmed up, but it's going to be coming alive and everything should be very full in here. So I'm really excited about that. And so the last area that we need to talk about these are actually the latest of the flower beds that I did with the no-dig method with compost and cardboard. So they're a little thin on the ground, starting to build them up. I had a geranium in each corner. The beds are mirrored each other. I had a geranium in each corner, but the squirrels ate it up. So I need to put some more in there. I do have some other plants coming. I'm in an upcoming plant haul that I'm going to be putting in this area. And I need to build it up a little bit more because the sneezeweed in the back here, you can see that the compost has sunk around the root ball, so I need to build that up. This is a diamond spire gardenia. I think that's what this is called. If it's not, I will put the name up there. So it survived the winter, which I'm very happy about. This is a 9-bark, and they're one on either side, and they are blooming out. This is the sedum that we planted in the latest video. And this, you can see here, my poor little drift rose. It is pushing new growth. I trimmed back all the dead, so we'll see what this does. There's one on the other side as well. And I popped some of the more of the tete-a-tete daffodils that I had left over. There's also right here a coneflower in here as well, and an ornamental grass, a pennisetum. So right here are one of the 2 viola pots that we just planted up in the latest video. There's the other one, and this is the mirroring deck, the mirroring flower bed that's at the deck steps. So the same plants are in here. Again, I have to replace the geranium because a squirrel ate it. I watched them eat it. Squirrels, man. Squirrels. Is there anybody else that deals with squirrels or any other kind of wildlife in their garden? Please let me know. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for coming along with me on our end of March garden tour. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found some inspiration. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you have any ideas, or I would love to know what you're planting in your garden. And what is your favorite plant that you're growing? What's your favorite plant, shrub, or tree that you have in your own garden? I hope you guys are doing well, and I hope to see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye. And happy Easter for those who celebrate. Bye-bye.